Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to the channel of upright men and women. Guys, last night 2 men were executed with bullets to the back of the head at a place called Rock Spring in Rockfort. It's somewhere behind Flour Mill against the hillside. Now, people will want to know, why were these men executed? Well, I'm going to tell you. But first, please know that these two are only part of a much broader program of killings that have been happening in the broader Mountain View Avenue, Rockfort, Sanders Lane area. And it is stemming from far back. So before I tell you about all of these executions and these killings that have been happening over the past 2 years, which culminated in these 2 recent ones, you have got to understand where it's stemming from. I don't know how many of you have been following the news over recent years, and I'm talking about 2002 in particular. Who remember British Linkup? Remember the British Linkup crew was a crew that held a lot of parties, big dance in England. And they come to Jamaica and they hold another set of dance. Well, the purpose of the dance was not so much to make money. Let's go to the dance today because you're going to see how it tie into these killings. So just stay with me. Those big parties were making a lot of money in Brixton and Tottenham and even Wolverhampton and other areas. But the parties that were kept, whether over there in Britain or in Jamaica, were just the face card for something that was much bigger. The head of that organization, British Linkup, was a man named Father Fowl. Most of you might remember Father Fowl. And he was the big promoter promoting all these dances and putting on big artists and making a lot of money. But like I said, that was just the front for something much bigger. Now, what was bigger than that? The transshipment of drugs from Jamaica to Britain and also into the United States. Yes, so while Father Fowl was promoting himself and positioning himself as an events promoter, he was into the shipment of drugs and guns, and he had a lot of bad men in his crew. Father Fowler was reached a stage where he even had British immigration officers and also customs officer in Britain under his belt. So he was sending up a lot of drugs and what we know today as drug mules, and most of them clear the airport with the drugs easily inside their bodies, and they rarely ever get caught. Now stay with me, you're going to see how it is linked to these executions now. Now let me give you a small synopsis of how Father Fowl do his things. They would recruit drug couriers from people who hang out at the party, especially young youth who don't have no job or profession or such, and then promise them visa and a trip to the quote-unquote high life overseas. And most of them would take the opportunity. Now, before he sent away any of these men, and yeah, he did send away some women also, but mostly men. Before him send them away, he would send them to go get fixed up at one other woman over in Sanders Lane off Mountain View Avenue. And he had been doing that for a number of years. Once him get your passport and get your visa and sort out all of that, a day or two before you leave, or up to a week, depends on when the flights are booked, he would take you up, have somebody drop the couriers off at the mother woman, and she would do her guzum foolishness before you board the plane, maybe the following day or two. Well, on Monday, the 7th of January, 2002, 4 men traveling in a Mark II go to meet the mother woman. This mother woman, they do a little barnyard, she have a little barnyard and a little lane. Just little bit past a dirt track it is. Named Vernon Avenue or Vernon Lane. Can't remember which. And there so every day her place packed with people who come for rub up and boil up and whatever in our barnyard. But on that morning, when Father Fowl sent these 4 men there, when them pull up at the gate, little after, because it's like them pull up early and were like waiting in the car and didn't go in the same time. One of them get up and go cross the road and go buy a beer at one little corner shop and was drinking it and just jokes right at the corner. The other 3 were in the vehicle. Some man just walk up to the vehicle, shoot up the 3 men inside, give them enough shot, then go in at them pocket, take out all the money they had in their pockets. Chain, ring, watch, go all in the glove compartment and take out everything that they could find. And they just walk away from Vernon Lane onto Sanders Avenue or Sanders Lane as they want to call it, and just disappeared in the area. Now, the men who died in that attack were Winston Edwards, Devon Hutchinson, and Michael Duffus. All of them were from the Walton Park, Kingston 11 area. One lived on Walton Park Road, one lived on Wayville Avenue, which is off Walton Park Road, and the next one I think was in the Beer Farm Road area, which is also in the Waltham. At the time when they died, all 3 had their passports with them. So that was why police were able to identify them so quickly. Because them did come for the Guzum woman, shake one dead chicken over the passport. Also, so it can dazzle the eyes of the immigration and the customs officer up at Heathrow or Gatwick. Boy, you see when people believe in some folkries. Anyway, police eventually came and saw what was going on, removed them to the morgue, and that was that. So, let me segue a bit. This happened right outside the gate of the Wana woman or Mother woman or Obia woman, whatever you want to call her. At the time, the TVJ News came there and interviewed her. And here is what she said. At the time, them should have phoned her and tell her say them a come. Because if she did phone them and tell them say them a come, should have either make them know not to come or should have hustle them in the yard and prevent it from happening. Now, if you are a Wana woman, you are seeing a woman, and you never know say, 3 man did go dead at your gate the man in there. What kind of obia woman you? And this happened in a broad daylight. It happened around 11:15 a.m. And when the police got there, believe me man. Now, as for the 4th man, because he was across the road at the little corner shop, them never know say him was in the car. They thought it was just the 3 men. One was round the steering wheel, one was at the back with the door open, and one was standing leaning on the car outside. For the first one by the car get shot, him run off and him got down to the corner of Vernon Lane and drop on Sanders Lane. The other 2 died in the car. When the other one see what happened, it's like the gunman didn't know that he was one of them, and I saw him escape. Now we come to how that link to these 2 men who were executed last night. Now, when Winston Edwards died, I hear that he left behind a little 2-year-old son at the time. And that 2-year-old boy loved his father. I hear that he was adopted by one of his mother's brother, who is his uncle, who grew him up as his son. But he never forgot his father, even though he was just almost 3-year-old at the time. He would have become 3 later down in that same January. And him did vow revenge for the people in Mountain View who killed him father. Now him go overseas, had a life there, come back, and decided to take revenge. But he met somebody who actually used to live on Sanders Lane. I have links inside Sanders Lane. I won't say that whether this person is male or female, but this individual have good connections in the area. And this person get the full story, the full backstory and front story of what really happened. Because what seemed to have really happened was that one of the men who did the shooting, did that triple murder, he was one of Father Fowl's courier back in the day. But he was used as a decoy. What happened? Father Fowl would send up 3 or 4 people on the same flight. And him set up one of them to get caught. So while the customs officer and other airport officials would be focusing on that one individual, the other 2 or 3 or 4 pass through easily. Yeah man, sometimes them do that. Set you up to get caught. While him in jail, Father Fowl promise him, say boy, rub your little 4 year or 3 year as the case may be. And when you come out, we will look after you. And I hear that Father Fowl in the beginning, like for the first year or so, send on some money to him baby mother now and again and thing. And send on some money to him mother while he must serve him sentence up in England. But after the first year or so, everything stopped. Father Fowl no contact him, no have nothing to do with him whatsoever. So when he came out, I think he did about 4 years because of the amount of drugs. It was 4 years like of a 8-year sentence or so. Him keep on a check Father Fowl and Father Fowl put him off. So eventually now him decides to listen. Me know say Father Fowl normally bring the men there on at specific days. And him know say Father Fowl normally come up in a grey Toyota Mark X. So him time the Mark X. And once him see it come, decide say boy, me no have nothing to get, so me I go take Father Fowl own when me see the Mark X they come back. And that's what he did. He made expect to dirt Father Fowl and whoever else was in the vehicle, but Father Fowl wasn't there. And that was how those men died. Father Fowl tricked the man. And as they say, unfair games played twice. And after that, Father Fowl go if you have for about 2-3 years and never come back to Jamaica. Because he knows that man was after him. But this youth here, who grew up, who started execute the man them from that era there, him no business about the fight that Father Fowl had with them or what Father Fowl did. Him just know say them kill for him daddy and him want revenge. So him none of the mix up on the politics side of it. You kill my father and I want you and I can't get you, I'm gonna take anybody for you. So armed with that information, with the intelligence he could get on the ground because of the link that he developed in the area, he was able to lure men out and dirt them. These men were picked up along Mountain View Avenue, Andrew Tucker and Bradley Brown. Now, I don't know what relation they are to the 2 men who did the murder, but they were found to be related or connected to them as family. And that was all that Gerald Harvey needed to know. So far, I hear that he has killed 6 men from the area, and we don't know how much more he have in mind to dirt. But I'm just asking the police to be very vigilant. 2 more of the men that he had dirted recently were Kenrick Williams and Denton Daly. Not all of them actually lived in the area, but him go anywhere him can find them and pull them out. As soon as I get the name of the others and their photos, I'll also be posting it. And what I hear is that he's not doing any of these killings himself. He must send man go do it. Thanks for watching. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.